Hi everybody, this is Dr. Lisa Ann Homick from Homick Advanced Chiropractic and Brain Sense Telehealth Self-Discovery Sessions. And you don't need to get better. In fact, stop trying to get better. What in the world am I talking about? Well, first, let's talk about the brain. This is an episode of Brain Snob, and I welcome you to my YouTube channel. The brain makes the body so you can make your life. How is your life right now? It's okay to be a brain snob. It's a high compliment. It's not an insult. When you know how to take care of your brain, you can give yourself amazing life experiences. And we need your full participation in the world. And you can't do it with an impaired brain. Remember, half healthy is still half sick. And we're going to fill in those gaps. Half a solution is still half a problem. The brain and the spinal cord, and remember, the spinal cord is brain. Those are the same cells. They're just in a different part of the body, but they're connected, and the brain and the spinal cord control the rest of your body. So let's just start at the top. Let's just get right to business and start at the top. Remember, chiropractic also is more than a procedure. Yes, the spinal joints are my access points to get to your brain. But chiropractic is also a philosophy for living congruently with your innate intelligence. When we act as if we're smarter than nature, we delude ourselves, and it's very destructive. So chiropractic is not this mamby-pamby, touchy-feely, tweaking your sore muscles. No, it's serious business of saving lives by respecting and supporting the innate connection to that physical nervous system. So, thank you for being here. Let's talk about mind, spine, intelligent design. And why would I even say that you don't need to get better? That's like the opposite of everything I talk about. Stop trying to get better. Because better means you're making a comparison. Something is wrong, but actually it's going rightly. How's that for sticking that adverb in there? We need to change what we call wrong because it's right. It's right, not wrong. When it comes to your health and healing, it's right. Your pain is not wrong. A fever is not wrong. A heart attack is not wrong. Now I'll back up there for a minute because that is a more extreme example. But the number one cause of a heart attack is sympathetic tone, an overused sympathetic tone. That's where your sympathetic nervous system is just on overdrive and does not know it's time to stop. But a heart attack is not wrong, and I'll explain that in a few minutes. A dramatic detoxification process in your body is not wrong. Strep throat is not wrong. Back pain is not wrong, and I'm going to explain that. I have a sign in the office right here in this adjusting room over in the other corner. Everybody sees it when they walk in the door, but it says, obsess over what's wrong or embrace what's right. So two words that stand out to me: obsess, and you know what that conjures up in your mind, and embrace. Embrace, it's got a positive feel to it. It's just, this is nice, this is pleasant. So we can be nice and we can be pleasant. So let's talk about why I don't want you to get better. I want you to get efficient. So that's the main crux of my little lecture here today. I want you to get efficient because that is more specific. Can I make sense out of this? Let's make brain sense out of it. Your body needs to be efficient. So if you come to my office in the recent past, I have had a handout called Embrace Your Symptoms, where I want you to revamp the way you look at things. Just change it around and almost change your lingo, change your vernacular. How's that? But embrace your symptoms. I want to talk about why instead of obsessing, let's understand, what is the body asking for? How can we give back to our body that works so hard for us? So number one, symptoms appear, and that's what you feel. The stuff that aggravates you, the annoying stuff, the pain, the tiredness. So these symptoms appear when you have already completed a prior stage of fight or flight intervention. When you are in the fight or flight, your body is bracing for survival. Fight, defense, or flight, getting the heck out of Dodge. And sometimes the extreme is freeze or faint. All of this is self-protection. This is survival. And when you're in fight or flight, what do you notice? Maybe sweaty, lots of your blood pressure going up, your heart rate is increasing. We need more oxygen to those lungs. And your blood flow is going to be diverted from the main internal organs to your extremities, so you can take care of business. So you can fight, or you can flee, and you can run and get away and protect yourself. This is primitive. This is instinct, and your brain runs on instinct during those moments. It's self-protective. So number two, thank your beautiful brain. Appreciation and optimism. Here we go. That's part of healing. That's going to boost those healing hormones. And so the symptoms appear when after fight or flight. You've already completed the process. You're halfway done. Celebrate. That's when I say embrace those symptoms. You're now in the stage of replenishing your reserves. Now the tissues are rebuilding. And that's not a walk in the park. When you are growing new tissues, replacing those tissues, it hurts. And when you're excreting cellular waste, because whenever you burn energy, there's always waste. Your body has to get rid of it in an efficient manner. So we want to be totally efficient. So you are going to feel sluggish. You're going to feel slow. You're going to feel swollen and stiff and tender, tight and weak. Moody. Yes, you're going to be moody. You're going to be anxious. And you might even be disappointed because you think something is wrong when actually something is right. Does that change your perspective about what you're going through? Well, you may disagree with me. You may say, no, flat out no. I'm still not doing well at my job. I'm behind in my schoolwork. I'm not getting ahead because I am in this state of rebuilding and replenishing my reserves. So we assist that process. We don't want to make it worse. We don't want to add more fight or flight to the situation because then you feel like you don't catch up. But we assist the body. And how do we do that? The 3 doorways that I mentioned. Move the brain, feed the brain, talk to the brain. Now that's a very simplified way of presenting it to you, but if we take each step a little bit deeper, you will see how we are going to give back to the body. Thank the body, TLC, just help it recover so it has the building blocks to rebuild. Sorry about that. So it has the rebuilding blocks so you can heal, so you can have stronger tissues and your organs will be more efficient. You are nearing the end of a productive process. That's why we celebrate and we embrace it. Now, if your symptoms occur too often, then you've got to reconsider what's going on. Why are you in fight or flight? Is it too long or is it too often? Do you have too many stressful encounters going on in your life? Now, remember, your brain is always going to think it's a bear. You know, that grizzly, growly, that bear that wants to eat you. And if you give yourself enough time, the prefrontal cortex will discern and realize it's just a squirrel. And you don't have to be in that fight or flight response because it's not really a bear. It's just a squirrel, and you can handle a squirrel. You don't have to be afraid of a squirrel. You don't have to run or fight. Run from a squirrel or fight back with a squirrel. Do you have too many stressful encounters? That just makes the brain just stay in that protective mode, because you cannot be in a state of defense and growth at the same time. One is going to dominate. So that's the sampling of this handout here. And let me get back to my notes. Let's go back to my list. So why would I say your pain is not wrong? Because what I just said, the rebuilding process doesn't feel good. When you are knitting together that periosteal bone, it doesn't feel good. When you're healing a fracture, you know it's working because you feel it. And that swelling is sending in more cells to rebuild, and the swelling doesn't feel good. So, and the other one, a fever is not wrong. We want that fever. It helps with the detoxification process. A heart attack is not wrong. Now, it is extreme, and somebody's life could be on the line. They could be minutes away from death. I understand it. But a myocardial infarction is not wrong. But the nervous system has been at that state of high sympathetic tone for quite some time and didn't get that rebuilding. That resilience hasn't been replenished. So a heart attack is not wrong. But yes, a heart attack is serious business. And there's a time for intervention. And hopefully the intervention is in enough time. Now, the dramatic detoxification process is not wrong. It's uncomfortable, but it's doing an important job for you. Strep throat is not wrong. That bacteria is there to digest dead tissue that's no longer needed, that shouldn't be hanging around. That's what bacteria do. They are the digesters, and they're going to get rid of it. So that is another bodily response, and it's helping you. Back pain is not wrong. Let's go back to, why do you have back pain? You're in the middle of the rebuilding process. So let's look at that in this different manner. Let's make the body more efficient. We don't have to use the word better, because when you say, I need to get better, that means you believe you are in some state of less, some state of not good enough. And when you feel like you're not good enough, that's another slew of nervous system chemicals that's going to interfere with your healing. Don't try to be better. Don't get better. Get efficient. And let's go back to page 4. Yes, here we go. So let's just change our terminology. Let's have a more refreshing set of words to help us go through life with a more productive attitude. I want you to strive for efficiency, because when you are in a healing process that's uncomfortable, it's still being efficient. It's doing what it's meant to do. It's that instinctual, primal response to protect you. And sometimes we just don't appreciate it. And I want to teach you how to appreciate it. Remember, those body responses you don't like are still helpful. Now, how long have I been talking here? Long enough, right? Yeah, I hear you. So I think I'm going to finish in another video with this list of my words that we need to just reframe. Words that I don't need you to keep saying in my office. And this is a handout everybody has also received when they come to the office. It's called Dr. Lisa Lingo. I have a video that I made probably in 2019 about the words that I like to just use substitute instead of other words. So I'm going to review it because I see I have added to it. I now have 2 pages, and it used to only be 1 page. And I'm going to add efficiency to it. That's going to be the next one. We don't need to concentrate on getting better. We just need to support that efficiency in our bodies. So remember, I want you to be a positive ripple effect in your community. And we can do that with good, flourishing brains and efficient body systems. You already have the tools. I teach people how to be more efficient with their tools. So thank you for watching today's video, and be a happy brain snob. Watch the other videos, even if they're older, they're still relevant. And the blog, createpurpose.com, I added a new entry regarding doctors who jumped ship. Yes, I procrastinated, finally got to that. I have the podcast, the Brain Snob podcast, that's hosted on Anchor FM, which is different, slightly different topics compared to the video Brain Snob. And when you're ready to ask me some questions and get a coaching relationship going and some chiropractic care under your belt, just give me that phone call. I'm waiting for you. Thank you for watching today.